Okay, it's a new season, so it's time to change your settings. Cash cups don't start for another 2 to 3 weeks, so if you want to make any changes, now is the time to do it. I'll walk you through the changes I made to my game, including keybinds, visual settings, and most importantly, between low and high meshes, so stick around for that. But let's start with keybinds. Since tournaments don't start for a while, this is the best time to change and get used to new things. So during this period, I'm still playing around with a bunch of different ones, but the one I started out with was swapping my walls with my stairs, because I thought walls were more important. This is obviously because you need to take walls when people box up, or hold walls when someone is aggressing you, but I think I underestimated how much more you actually click your stair button. Stairs are how every build fight starts, they're what you throw into your box for protection, and what you need when going for height. I have a G502 mouse, so I have walls, stairs, and floors all on my side mouse buttons, and I'll just show you beforehand, I had my stairs where my thumb rests right here, and my walls back here where I have to crane my thumb a little bit to hit it. My thought process for swapping these was during a long gaming session, I want the more important piece to be up top where my thumb rests. And I also tried switching this bottom one away from floor and to one of the other two, but after trying every option, I realized I liked it more how I had it originally, with stairs and then wall and floor on the bottom. However, I did add a different bind to my mouse which I didn't have before, and that is pickaxe, and I am absolutely keeping this change. Originally I had it on I, but I am now switching it to this button next to my pointer finger on my mouse. Oh yeah, and I guess I should mention, if you don't know it yet, I use UHJK movement instead of WASD, so that's why I was originally using I for my pickaxe, so that wasn't insane either. It was just like someone using E on WASD. And I'm not going to dive into every single bind, just the ones I've changed since my last keybind video, which if you haven't seen, will be right here. But I switched pickaxe to my mouse because I didn't want to take a movement key finger off of my movement binds to equip my pickaxe. Originally it was bound to my index finger on my left hand, which meant I couldn't move right and equip it at the same time. And if you're familiar with how to phase, you don't really want to be running directly forward at the wall because you'll get there too fast before your pickaxe is equipped. So you kind of want to strafe until you're ready to fully phase. And if your finger isn't on that movement key, then strafing is sort of hard. Especially if you're coming from the left side where most people set up phase plays. Now with it on my index finger, I can equip it, strafe, and phase much easier, as well as just equip it in general without needing to move any fingers from a neutral position. And guys, that's just for one bind. I'm telling you, if you want these in-depth breakdowns on what each keybind does, then watch my keybind video after this and invest in the channel if this is making sense, because a lot of people don't think about each individual small scenario like that when creating binds. And since it is the start of the season, please use code reidtheninja2 to buy the battle pass if you learn something from the rest of the video. But the next thing I changed is my PC color settings, which makes the game look beautiful, but it also makes the enemies stand out much more, which is why I did this. The left picture is the enemy with regular colors, and the right is the enemy with my settings turned on. And in my opinion, you can see them much better. Also, this is what Storm looks like with my color settings. It's practically transparent. You can see right through it, which is obviously super helpful during endgame. So if you want to copy my settings, this is what you need to do, and it's not in-game settings. So sorry to the console kids. Although, actually it might be possible on console if you change your monitor settings instead of doing internal things, or if there is just color changes you can make on the console OS, I'm not sure. But on PC, you open up an app called the NVIDIA control panel, go to adjust desktop color settings, select the monitor you want to change, and copy these settings. 55% brightness, 55 burgers, 55 fries, 100% contrast, 1.14 gamma, and 64% digital vibrance. And your game will look like this. So you may be wondering how I landed on those numbers specifically and what I was looking for when setting those up. And what I was looking for was making this picture perfect. This is the original, no color change, and I was attempting to make the dark figure stand out from the ghost wall as much as possible. So I changed it a little bit, and I liked how it looked, but it wasn't enough for me. Like, I really thought to myself, I took a step back and said, if I'm really deep enough into the rabbit hole where I'm changing NVIDIA color settings for the sake of seeing through a wall, I might as well change the one in-game setting that makes it easier to see through walls. So I turned back on high meshes. And I have another full video explaining the pros and cons between the two right here if you're curious. But yeah, with high meshes, there's more cracks in the wall, thus easier to see through, so I turned them back on. Now I took another picture to compare the bot behind the ghost wall with high meshes and to mess around with more visual settings, and I landed on this. This, in my opinion, is the best I could get to contrast the robot figure from the ghost wall so I could see easier. Thus, theoretically, in real games, I should be able to see real players easier, and boy was I right. This is the best and most confident I've felt playing ranked in a long time. I'm very bipolar between choosing between high and low meshes, so we'll see if this sticks, but right now, I'm absolutely loving it. Okay, so here we are in ranked, and this guy's doing anything but actually fight me. He's hitting me with the sticky grenades, and then he eventually pulls up with a baseball bat to try to launch me into the air. Although the nice thing about having high meshes in this situation is I saw exactly when he started to slide down the mountain, and once he did, that's when I went for my first edit shot. Once he came up onto my wall, I could see that, and I did my second edit, and I was able to kill him without really taking any damage except for 1 or 2 hits. So this one I'm on low ground, I kind of get slammed, and I'm in a third party scenario where there's 2 people around me, and one of them actually dies right above my box, and the other one instantly tries to claim that loot, and I edit him down to kill him. Now this play was an absolute gamble, don't get me wrong, but I think having the high meshes actually helped see through to see when that first guy dies, and then I'm able to see right here once the second guy approaches, his head pops over, and that's when I know to edit and go for the counter damage shot. I of course drop him down and hit him for a lot, and I am able to finish that kill. Okay, so the high and low mesh difference on brick walls isn't as pronounced as it is for the wooden walls, but I am still able to see this guy very easily, so I get some big counter damage on him, and now I'm on the offensive. I loop around to the other side of his box. I see that he doesn't have a middle wall piece, so I instantly try to take that once I break through. I get the center piece while he backs off into his next box, but I track him through the wall, hit him for a big shot, and then at this point, I just take the aim battle. I'm looking through the wall, I see exactly where he's standing. I'm not relying on any visual sound effects or anything. I just see his body and I get the perfect kill. This one's a little less obvious, but look at the left side of the window edit, and I can see exactly once his body passes through it, and that's when I know to shoot through the window, and I get some pretty good damage for this weird angle. He's able to take the wall back, so I just track him through the wall with my AR, hit him for another white tag, and then from there, it's an easy kill cleanup. But of course, there's a third party. There's always a third party. We fight each other for a minute while I try to heal up, and that's when I realize, oh, this is the last guy. It's a 1v1 right now. I just didn't realize because the zone was still pretty big. So that's when I lock in. I get towards zone, take the zip line up so I can have high ground, and then he has to come to me with zone on his back. He ramps up and I place a wall right in front of him, which he runs into, and now I have perfect vision on him. He tries to go to the left, so I just track him over, cone him off, and then it's an easy victory royale. Again, if you learned something new or I enlightened you, please use code reidtheninja to cop the new battle pass and invest in the channel to learn a lot more, such as what my keybinds really are and why I use UHJK. Or for my more in-depth video on the pros and cons of high versus low meshes, click right here. Thank you so much for watching. My name is reidtheninja, and I'm signing off.